read off the names in terms of who got drafted, and then we get to, and then after you read all the first round off, we'll come back and then read what he wrote about us at 17, and then kind of go from there.
Since it's 2 rounds, I'll try to fly through here.
Yeah, we ain't gotta take long on it. Yeah. I mean, you catch what I'm saying.
C.J. Stroud to the Panthers at 1. Bryce Young to the Texans at 2. Colts trade up with the Cardinals to take Anthony Richardson at 3. And then the Cardinals end up taking Will Anderson. They were probably going to take him anyway. So they were able to probably get some extra picks in that trade.
Yep.
They take him at 4. At 5, the Seahawks don't take a quarterback here. They take Jalen Carter, defensive tackle out of Georgia, because, well, Richardson's gone. Levis is still there, so they passed on him. Lions at 6 take Tyree Wilson, defensive end out of Texas Tech. Raiders, with the first cornerback off the board, take Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois. No Christian Gonzalez, but he goes the next pick to the Falcons at 8. And then the Bears at 9 take Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle out of Northwestern. Eagles at 10 take Lucas Van Ness. Titans take Jackson Smith and Jigba at 11, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Texans at 12 take Nolan Smith, outside linebacker at Georgia.
Now, huh?
He really went up the board.
Changed everything, bro.
He's a good player.
He is, but it's just funny how that works, though, bro.
Yeah. Jets at 13 take Paris Johnson Jr., offensive tackle out of Ohio State. So the top 2 tackles are gone, and also the top 2 corners are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of receiver, and Jigba's gone.
Yeah.
At 14, the Buccaneers make a trade with New England.
Okay.
It involves the rights to Brady. No, it's I don't know what the trade is, but they end up taking Levis at 14 in the Patriots spot.
So now that's what
they don't believe in Trasker Mayfield that much.
So that's what all the quarterbacks except Hooker off right now. Then yeah.
Packers at 15 take Miles Murphy, defensive end out of Clemson. At 16, one pick before the Steelers.
Hey now.
The Commanders take Joey Porter Jr.
Oh, son of a gun.
At 17, the Steelers take Broderick Jones.
Okay.
Offensive tackle out of Georgia.
Okay.
18, Lions take Bajan.
So you can keep him on your roster. So you happy now? You keep him on your roster? You good now?
Yeah. I am. 19, New England Patriots take Darnell Wright, offensive tackle out of Tennessee. 20, Seattle Seahawks take Zay Flowers, wide receiver out of Boston College. 21, Kalijah Kancey out of the University of Pittsburgh. Goes to the Chargers.
What did you just call that, bro?
I think Pitt's going to become the new U.
That boy said the University of Pittsburgh.
Vikings take Hendon Hooker, QB out of Tennessee, Kirk Cousins' replacement. Jacksonville Jaguars at 24 take Dalton Kincaid, tight end out of Utah. Giants at 25 take Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback, Mississippi State. 26, Cowboys, Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame.
Hail to Pitt.
Oh, my God.
Hail to Pitt.
At 27, the Bills take Jordan Addison, receiver out of USC.
Now he's out of USC. That's crazy. Now he out of USC. What in the world? Don't tell me you be acting all funny if Jordan Addison put on that blue and red. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know you still rock with Jordan.
From 2 years ago.
I love this mock. I'm just
the 2021 version of Jordan Addison. Any other year. I don't know. We'll say 2020 as well, because that was his freshman year at Pitt. 2020 and 2021 version of Jordan Addison.
He said, it's going all downhill. First he goes to USC, and then you going to Buffalo. Oh, nah. Can't be.
Yeah, that's double betrayal right there. 28, Cincinnati Bengals take Deontay Banks, cornerback out of Maryland. 29, Saints take that defensive end out of Northwestern. Not even going to try to pronounce his name.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah, AA. Yeah, yep, AA.
30, Eagles take Will McDonald, the fourth, out of Iowa State. And then at 31, the Chiefs take Felix, another name I can't pronounce, Felix Uzoma, defensive end out of Kansas State.
And that ends the first round. So we'll wait to come back to the second round. But going back, so he said at 17 overall, they had us taking Broderick Jones. Let me see. So what he wrote up in terms of about it, says Pittsburgh brought in Isaac Seumalo this March to shore up the interior offensive line. but there are still questions at offensive tackle, and protection is key when you have a young QB running the offense. Jones allowed 0 sacks over 15 starts last season, showcasing quick feet and explosive upper body power for the national champion Bulldogs, and he'd be a good value to get in this at this point in the draft. Jones would also help open lanes for Najee Harris in the run game. In terms of Broderick Jones, man, he's definitely one of the guys that we've talked about, one of the guys on our radar. We kind of looked at him early on in the process at potentially 32, but seeing how this board was falling, so to speak, man, with Paris and Skoronski being off the board, essentially you were choosing between Broderick, Anton Harrison. Who else was on? Let's see. What other?
Well, yeah, if you're specifically talking tackles, it'd be
tackles,
those guys. And then the cornerbacks you'd have available is Deontay Banks or Forbes.
Emmanuel Forbes. Yeah.
And then receivers would be Zay Flowers or
Addison was available.
Those would I would assume be our options right there.
Yeah. At 17 specifically, I would agree. Which does make it intriguing, though. Because with those names that we just listed right there, how would you feel if we went Broderick over those guys?
I'm not going to hate on the pick. It would be a boring pick. And
that's fine. No, honestly, that is fine, bro. Yeah.
And it's just the fact that I don't know if he's going to beat out Dan Moore. That frustrates me for being a round 1 pick.
Yeah. Tight ends were on the board as well in terms of Dalton Kincaid, Michael Meyer as well.
I'm not going to hate on the pick. I'm not going to be mad about it because if we do take him, it's such a cop-out answer. I'm sorry. It's such a hedge of an answer. But I do trust the Steelers organization and this front office. I haven't seen Omar Khan make a bad move yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And particularly if we take an offensive lineman, having Andy Whitehall on the staff, I'd assume he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, for me, man, I'm torn. Broderick isn't a sexy pick. It's offensive lineman. I get it. But in terms of Broderick's ceiling,
right,
it's hard to make a case that he doesn't have the most upside out of any of these tackles that we've talked about. Peter Skoronski, Paris Johnson, Anton Harrison. Just because of his size, his athletic ability, his power. So those are the things that make him super intriguing, and it's a position that we know is a major need. At this level, you have to have a quarterback, you have to have a guy that can protect that quarterback, and you have to have a guy that can cover. We know those are the main spots, and then we kind of go forth from there. So Broderick, it does check off that end at worst. If Dan Moore just has to raise his play, but this makes Dan Moore be a more consistent player, are we hating the move if that's what came from it? If bringing Broderick in was the first time that Dan Moore experienced competition, but it made him play to a manner which we think he's capable of, or that we just hope he could tap into, I don't think that's a negative. But if what does happen is Broderick comes in here, beats him out clear cut, and now we got Broderick as our starter and a guy that has started 2 years at the NFL level as his backup, well, across the board, at our offensive line, we feel great about our 1 and 2 depth. And that's something that's intriguing. But to act like I wouldn't be upset to know that Zay Flowers was on the board, to know that Jordan Addison was on the board. Shoot, man, when we talk about some of the D-line stuff, Kalijah Kancey, he was on the board as well. We don't necessarily love the fit, but when you talk about the talent, it's like, man, can you talk yourself into making that work? Those are some of the things, man. Emmanuel Forbes. We know cornerback, man, that's one of them positions that you can never have enough of them. We just talked about Odell coming to the division. We know. Even when we were talking, what were we saying? Man, we're banking on us drafting a corner. We're banking on us getting somebody to come in here. So when I think of Emmanuel Forbes potentially, or even a Deontay Banks, like you said, both of them dudes being available and us going Broderick, that's kind of tough for me, man. Especially because I don't know if it's just going to beat it out year 1, week 1. I think that's my other hiccup with it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's worth a first-round pick. If we're just talking about, we're bringing in some competition for Dan Moore.
That's tough, bro. That's tough.
Okay, I get it. If you truly believe this guy's going to be like an elite, okay, he's going to be a 10-year starter for us. He's going to build with Kenny, grow with Kenny in this offense. Sure, but just sitting here right now, if you bring him in and you're just saying, oh, worst case, he's going to be pushing Dan Moore as a first-round pick. Whereas I feel like if we draft a cornerback, he's going to play a lot early on.
Yeah.
And we're going to need him to have that type of impact. Same thing with receiver. I would assume they'd be getting him on the field somewhat. Whereas with Broderick Jones, it's either you're starting or you're not.
Yeah, because with the receiver element of it, and this is, remember we had this conversation Thursday when we were like, yo, who's sitting on the sideline? Would it be Pickens? Would it be Deontay? Would it be one of these Jordan Addison, Zay Flower types, Jack Smith and Jigba types? You still would get them on the field. They're still going to at least get 30-something snaps a game. Worst case, that's the low end. Not targets, but just snaps. You're seeing it. If it's a fast guy, at least the defense got to respect it. They got to react to it. At offensive line, I don't rotate them dudes. At offensive line, I don't want my 17th overall pick to just be worst or best case scenario. No. I said worst case scenario, he's an extra offensive lineman this year. Like, that's who he would be if he isn't the starter. I don't want my 17th overall pick to be that. Whereas at wide receiver or at one of these other positions on defense, you're still going to be able to utilize that guy. He's still going to be able to come out there. So I think for me, they would just have to like love Broderick and feel like he is definitely the upgrade. If they feel like that, then cool. But that's like my big hiccup with it is like, if you can't guarantee that this is the upgrade, like, man.
And I feel like our team's in such a spot where if you're drafting a dude like Broderick Jones in round 1, like you almost want him to start right out the gate because you want him to build and grow with the rest of the young talent on offense. Mm-hmm. We're not in a spot where you're like the Chiefs coming off a couple Super Bowls. You already have a bunch of veterans in place. And maybe you don't have as many needs, and you're just like, okay, let me get this guy and have him send the wings. He's going to be our future franchise left tackle, but that'll happen next year. But we could get away with not starting him because we have Patrick Mahomes and all these other veterans and just the core championship pieces that we've had over these last couple of years. Yeah. Like we don't have, like we're still building towards that. Like I don't want top draft picks like 17 overall just sitting. Yeah, I want them to gain experience.
Yeah. Like, I want that out there. And like I said, even if it's not year 1 as the starter, at least with some of these other positions, I'm still going to see it. If it's a D lineman, I'm still going to see it. If it's a corner, you're not the starter outside. Okay, you're my nickel. You're my fourth corner when I go dime. I'm still going to see you. You're a tight end. Okay, I'm still going to see you. You're a receiver. I'm still going to see you. Outside of running back, but even with running back, you still would see that to an extent. We just definitely don't need that right now.
So if they do take Jones, do we assume they think he's the upgrade over Dan Moore? I mean, they're going to bring him in as like a competition. You're probably just not going to start him right off the bat. But they're like, over time, this is going to play out. All the fans are going to see training camp preseason. It's the Kenny move, man. It's a formality. We're going to let you compete for the sake of we're competing you, but this is your car. We just don't know. They'll start Jones week 1, though.
See, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if they turn it over that fast or if they wait a little bit. But I think that's what we'd have to see when it got here. Remember with Kenny, we got a chance to see it once it was here. It was like, all right, now we kind of get an idea of how this is going to play out. It was just when Mitch early on, how the offense was looking with him, it kind of sped up everything. But I think with this, it would be similar because you still do have something that has already started. So you're not going to feel like we have a hole. This is more so I'm trying to upgrade something. Whereas, yeah, because that'd be the same situation with Mitch. We didn't feel like we had a hole at quarterback all through training camp. Nah. We felt, all right, man, we got a vet. This cool. Eventually, Kenny's going to be ready. It's going to be Kenny's job. But we started out slow, and that's what just pushed it to make us make the move ahead of time. So if Dan Moore came out week 1 and get beat for 2 sacks, well, yeah, that'll expedite it.
With how this front office is talking, or at least how they're making moves, it does make me think they would draft Broderick Jones just for depth this year.
Chill, don't say that, bro.
I think they would. I think they would. No, they would obviously think he'd have upside to be the starter long term and be the franchise left tackle.
That's
but
a tough one, though.
I would like him to play.
Yeah.
I would like the guy we're taking in the first round
to play. I want to see it, bro. Yeah.
Particularly in 3 positions we're talking about, we do have like a need for, or can use a little bit of an upgrade. Now, if we just want to roll with Dan Moore, I'm fine with that too. But if you're drafting him, can we be damn sure he's the upgrade and we're going to put him out there?
Because like I said, it's easy to sit and be like, oh, yeah, he's definitely better than Dan Moore. How do we know that? Have you seen him block NFL edge rushers week in and week out? Nah. You seen him watch college guys on a college super team. Cool. But you haven't seen him face the dudes that Dan Moore's had to face week in and week out. Heck, even the backups that Dan Moore faced were still 10-plus sack guys at their respective colleges and were all conference at their respective colleges. It's a different animal, man, when you talk about playing in the NFL. So
Oh, how many first-round left tackles do we see bust too?
Okay, that's
like,
what I'm
there's a
trying to
ton of them.
explain. I'm like, bro, it's easy to. Oh yeah, everybody's better than Dan Moore. I'm like, no, don't let it fool you now. Don't let it fool you, baby. Look at Tevin Jenkins right now. Think about where he was drafted. You look at where Dan Moore was drafted. Two totally different conversations than we're talking about how they're surrounded, how people are viewing them right now, just based on where they were brought in. But it's one of them things where there's no guarantee just because a guy has more hype around him that he's gonna come out here and materialize into that type of talent. That's just not the case, man. But Dan has shown that Dan can be a starter in this league. It's just a good version. We want to see what it can grow into, though. Can it be what we feel like you want to pay for? Because you don't want to just pay for something that is good. You want really good or elite. That's what we're looking for. Right now, he's just good. But he's also young. That was just his second season. So, yeah, to me, man, I don't think it's just this, like, surefire thing that these dudes coming in here just going to beat Dan Moore out, man. Like, it's different, man. It's a different animal.
If we're bringing in a dude to put Dan Moore on the hot seat, I prefer the second round. Yeah. If we could get a dude like Anton Harrison, fine. Mm-hmm. Like, what's wrong with that? Yeah. And we're bringing him in knowing, all right, maybe he could be the solution long term. Mm-hmm. This gives us leverage with Dan Moore coming up into his contract season and whatnot, where we don't feel like we have to overpay him or anything. Like, I feel like that's more of the strategy from my standpoint. If you're bringing in a dude to compete with Dan Moore, go like second round. I think you can still get some talent there. There's a good guy like Cody Mock too. Mm-hmm. Anton Harrison.
They got some options.
I think that's what I would prefer. I wouldn't hate it. I guess it depends on who's available. In this case, JPJ wasn't there. A lot of top corners. I like Broderick Jones. I really do.
He
as
definitely
a prospect,
is a good player.
I like him as a pick in a vacuum, but in our situation,
see, I liked him at 32 a lot more than I liked him at 17.
Right.
That's my big thing. But we good with 17 for right now? About to say, I mean, in terms of just like the combo right now.
It is what it is. The thing I like about Jones,
it is what it is.
You're bringing in a Georgia guy, some national championship experience.
He got that dog in him.
Yeah, he's got that dog in him.
He got that dog in him.
Pickens connection. It wouldn't be a bad pick. It would be a boring pick. You're not going to get the reaction I've gotten these last couple of years about taking Najee Harris.
Trust me,
it's a boring pick.
I'm with you. I would not jump out my seat either. But
hell, I wasn't happy about Pouncey, so that goes to show you. I wanted Des Bryant. So bad. I didn't want Pouncey.
Shout out to Pounce. Hey, shout out to Dez. The X. Let's go.
So that goes to show how much a boring pick means or not.
It's nothing wrong with boring picks, though, man.
Sometimes boring picks become your staple. Creed Humphrey for the Chiefs.
Yeah. No, man, but trust me, man, Broderick, I do feel like Broderick's going to be a really good player. But we're not just talking about what his ceiling is going to be. We're just talking about in year one, is he beating out Dan Moore by week 1, by week 4, like that's the conversation. I just think it's different, man. But
whereas if you were to take another position, they could actually
they're going to be playing. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about,
and they could be your solution at those positions
long term. So we can get best of both worlds. Not, hey, this is a 1 year where you're just wasting on the sideline, not giving us anything. Like, I don't want to do it.
Us as a team are trying to build and continue to develop, getting those playoffs, all that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But shout out to Todd because he gave us a little bit extra. He said, man, look, I know I could give you.
Yeah, Kuiper only gives the round 1.
Kuiper only give you the round 1, man. You're right. But you this how you knew we were going to get a multi-round draft, because he did, like I said, I like that mock that he gave to Buffalo. I thought that was perfect for both of us. We could relate to that pick a lot, man. So now with that being the case, man, I was like, you know what? Let's tap in, man. So now it's time for round 2 of Mr. Todd McShay. So let's see what he has in the second round.